guys, it's your girl JS. You know what we do every week. We recap Ready to Love. Let's get into it.
Love you better than I did before. I can love you. 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 I can love you.
So I'm going to talk about the main points of the episodes because scene by scene, nah, all of the scenes weren't worth mentioning. Like the cliffhanger, who's leaving? Is it Tori or Paul? And Tori goes. Okay, are we surprised? No. Because Tori hadn't had a match since the first episode. He goes, and then after that, it's kind of like part 2 of the trip. And Sabrina and Demetrius have this little heart-to-heart. She's basically like, put actions behind your words, okay? The crazy part about it is, in the same breath, she said, but I also have a connection with Donovan. So you want him to be 10 toes down for you, but you're only 6 toes down for him? I get where Demetrius come from, but because in the back of his mind, he knows as well as we know, you're not 100% for him, so what? But so people are, you know, sealing the deal, and Clifton and Dakia finally have that talk that should have been episode 6. I mean, really. Dakia know, like, I see you as a friend. I want to keep a strong friendship with you. I don't, like, the connection is not as strong as Joy. And she's just basically like, she knew, but she just needed a conversation. And I'm just like, so what was the conversation gonna do? Like, what was the conversation? If you saw it with your own 2 eyes, I could see it was almost like somebody told you that they saw this, but you saw it. You saw it, girl. I said people are still in the deal. Donovan and Carmen are snuggled up, talking and communicating. Paul went to bed alone. Okay. And then it's just like Joy and Clifton are, you know, making that stride into the future. You know what I'm talking about? So we're closing the trip out, but then a car rolls up and it's Tina. Hey, Tina girl. Her reason for showing up was just to give Donovan closure, okay? Now this is the crazy part. Paul is like in the confessional, going around the house talking trash, like, I'm not giving her closure, I'm not talking to her. I'm like, well, the good thing about that, Paul, she didn't come for you. She showed up, people of course giving her the cold shoulder because she hadn't shown up to trip or communicated or whatever. She could care less. And I love it. So she's just like, hey, she asked Donovan could they talk, and she was just letting him know, like, this process has been overwhelming for me. I just feel like I haven't made the connection I should have made in order to stay in this process. And Donovan, after all that, still asked her, do you want to be in this? I'm like, after all the details she gave you still gonna ask if she want to be here? Carmen comes out just to check on her, seeing that she's good, and then she's like, I'm just not really in this. Like, I don't have anybody that I'm really here to be with, or I don't see a connection with any of these guys here. And so she like totally understood, and she was just letting her know, like, okay, I just want to make sure you're okay, you're good. And I feel like as a woman, that's what really matters. Check on her. Don't check, like, she could have been going through anything. And I think when Paul did that, it was just like, bruh, what kind of man would you be for her if she chose you? Because it's almost like you acting like this? Like, who throws tantrums at 60? Like, Clifton and Joy go on a date, and then Dakia and Paul go on a date. You can see all the love and connecting going on with Joy and Clifton, but the dry air, the air and the crickets in the room with Dakia and Paul, let me tell you. Well, the trip was nice. We were near the water. It was so much water. You really connecting with somebody. Who does that? So moving on. The women and the men meet up to discuss the trip with Nephew Tommy. And then Nephew Tommy's like, did Tina even show up? But Donovan just let him know what we saw. Like, she's not really in it anymore. And then Nephew Tommy said he's gonna meet with her. It was bombs that were dropped. Like, Donovan let us know that he and Sabrina had a disagreement, and Sabrina was basically letting him know, like, you could be the dude going home next. Now, she said she didn't say it, but have we ever known Donovan to be messy like that? Is he like Laverne messy? I don't think so. Sabrina let us know that she still has all these doubts about the 2 guys. Why are you still here then? If they're giving you doubts that are deal breakers, why are you still here in this process? It's a mess. Like, basically Demetrius wants somebody submissive based on what his friend said, and then Donovan, because he hadn't been divorced and single that long, it may be like he may not want to settle down. And Donovan's like, I'm surprised we're still having this conversation because I let you know that I'm ready, but whatever. And then Demetrius is like, well, that was what my friend said. So it's like, bro, are you gonna believe what comes out of their mouth and like what they're doing? doing, or are you going to just continue this? Because it's a hot mess. Then we move on to Paul talking, and he brings up like his connections with Carmen and Dakia, but Tina too, but you know, Tina, she's out at this point, so it's Dakia and Carmen. And he was like, well, I just feel like Carmen's not into me like that. Like, she's just here for the process. She's not really into me. And I'm like, okay, Paul. And he's like, well, Dakia, she's different, you know, they're just different in different ways. And I was just like, what are you talking about? But then Carmen dropped bombs too, like, but you said that you needed somebody just to get you off, and you have to really be attracted to them, and Dakia wasn't it, and whatever. And then Dakia's like, well, I don't believe anything that comes out of Carmen's mouth, and she's, you know, I'm natural and she's purchased, and it was just a hot mess. And what I don't like about Dakia, and I'm gonna stand on this, okay, it's like, what other women in other seasons did, it always was about sisterhood at the end of the day. Of course, you're trying to pick the man for you and connect it, whatever the case may be. But at the same time, you're not going to discredit another woman, educated woman. The other woman she does not talk about like that. Like, and she has had, like, for example, she and Joy both connected with Clifton. She's never done that to Joy. Every time it was just like he was shocked, I was shocked, we were shocked. Nephew Tommy allegedly meeting with Tina. Okay, if Tina's off the show, why are y'all pretending? And I'm talking about the producers. Why are y'all pretending as if like she's supposed to be meeting up with Nephew Tommy? Like, now Nephew Tommy said that he had stayed there for an hour. We don't know that for sure, but he said he stayed there for an hour. This episode, the women are meeting the guys' families. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. And I said what I said. I love you guys so much. If you have any comments or you want to share the video, you can do that. Subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye. I can make it, but you fall down.